Good evening and thanks for tuning in to CTV News. I'm Stuart Smith.
I'm Tatiana Parafinik-Telesnik. Roughly 75 females nationwide entered and completed the Marine Corps Officer Candidate School Program, or also known as OCS, this past summer, including 2 Colorado State University students. Cindy Merckx and Caitlin Derrick are the first females to complete the program from Colorado State University since 2011. Participants in OCS complete either a 10-week program over the course of 1 summer or 2 6-week programs over the course of 2 summers. According to the captain, Ryan Hart, the selection process of the Marine Corps Officer Program participants are placed through a rigorous training process. Hart told the Collegian that it is one of the most physically, mentally, and morally challenging leadership schools in the world. Derrick grew up in a military family and from a young age was inspired by having a military career. Derrick finished out the 10-week program and described her graduation as a great sense of accomplishment and something that made her feel very strong and confident. Merkins, after finishing OCS training, also described her graduation as a very surreal event, adding that she cried during the ceremony. Merkins added, "While the program is difficult, it should not stop other women from pursuing it."
While Colorado State University has continued to increase the number of students admitted in recent years, student housing has struggled to keep up. And now, some complexes face growing waitlists. According to Tony Miyamoto, Director of Communications for Student Affairs, after CSU's newest on-campus apartment complex, Aggie Village, opened in 2016, hundreds of students were unable to immediately secure a space in the village. If they applied after February 1st, Aggie Village was built by CSU in order to offer an on-campus living option. Because of its popularity, the apartment complex denied housing to many students. Those who were not able to secure a unit for the apartments were given a few options: be placed on the Aggie waitlist in case space opened up later, cancel their application and receive a full refund of their deposit, move their application to another semester, or transfer their deposit to the residence halls where space was guaranteed. Rams Village, located less than a mile west of CSU, also dealt with a waitlist, but not of the same caliber. The waitlist size for different bedroom units did not exceed the number of units available, and only around 10 groups did not get a unit. The apartment complex established a waitlist in order to give its current residents time to renew their lease. Another apartment complex geared to CSU students, State On-Campus Apartments, avoids the issue of waitlisting by stopping the signing of leases once a type of unit fills up. For more information, please visit housing.colorado.edu.
Colorado State University will conduct premier research on ducks and other waterfowl birds. The Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology Department at Colorado State University received a new position called the James C. Kennedy Endowed Chair of Wetland and Waterfowl Conservation. David Coons, who holds a doctorate in wildlife science, began the position in July. In this role, Coons will conduct wetland and waterfowl research in the Central Flyaway area, a region of the Americas that contains bird migration paths. This is the first endowed chair for this purpose in the Central Flyaway region. Coons was hired to fill the chair position by a group of faculty members, including Kenneth Wilson, professor and department head for College of Natural Resources, who has high hopes for what the chair will accomplish. Before coming to CSU, Coons was a population ecologist, studying the changes in the abundances of various animal populations and how environmental factors affected them at CSU. He works with students to focus on specific species in danger of extinction, like the duck species lesser scaup, as well as other large-scale population changes in waterfowl species. He currently has 1 postdoctoral student, 2 doctoral students, and 1 master's student starting on these projects.
With the homecoming 5K in a month, it's time for most people to start their training. However, if you're planning for it, you may want to adjust the way you go about it.
When you line up with the homecoming 5K this year, be prepared for a different race. The Department of Health and Exercise Science here at CSU has decided that the final events at Hughes Stadium will be the homecoming 5K. Typically, the homecoming 5K has been held on the CSU campus, starting in the Oval, wrapping around campus, going south on Shield Street, and then coming right back to the Oval. It's a very fast course. The new course at Hughes will not be the same. The Department of Health and Exercise Science has said that they are hoping that the new course will give people more of a cross-country feel than the old course. The new course will start in the field where people have been tailgating at Hughes Stadium for years, and it will wrap around it twice. It will then run around Hughes Stadium through the back, and then go down south of the stadium, and then wrap back up north, and finish right in front of the stadium. For a lot of people, the new course will be a welcome change. However, for many more serious runners, they're not so happy about it. Here's Jake Worrell, a ranking member of the CSU Striders Running Club.
Super dusty out there, everything's kind of dead. It's not as as accessible for students to get to. It's not as fast either. You know, people want to run fast, people want to run, you know, like 15 minutes, 16 minutes, maybe under 15 if you're that type of person. They just want to, you know, run fast and stop, you know, doing it on the cross-country course by you is just as slow.
Fortunately for Jake and his friends, the course will go back to its original after this year.
Last night was all about food, music, and fun at the Hope Farm. The event hosted by the Growing Project was called Food Truck on the Farm. The Growing Project is a nonprofit organization that works to promote local agriculture. Community members of all ages were encouraged to bike to Hope Farm to celebrate a successful growing season. Although the entrance was free, there was food for purchase and beer for donation. These donations go directly to the Growing Project's Youth Growing Program. The event also featured live music and a tour of the farm. Overall, it was a relaxing night and a great way to celebrate the end of summer. If you're interested in learning more about this organization, visit www.thegrowingproject.org. But let's take it to our live reporter, Nicole Parra.
We don't have live right now, so we're just going to go ahead.
Well, that will wrap it up for news, but Zach Trombetta is here with the full weather forecast. Then later on, we have sports and entertainment.
Welcome back, Rams. I'm Kiera Coles, your favorite Tuesday entertainment host. Let's get started. Get your taste buds ready because this Friday is Fort Collins' monthly foodie walk. The free event takes place on the third Friday of every month and is a self-guided Old Town tour. Now what, or better yet, who exactly is a foodie? The Downtown Fort Collins Business Association describes them as people who simply love food for consumption, study, preparation, and recreation. The event kicks off at 5 p.m. and will feature local businesses such as Happy Lucky's Treehouse and Treasures, the Welsh Rabbit Cheese Shop, and Revolution Market. Man's and woman's best friend needs a place to let loose too, right? If you have a furry companion, I have the perfect place for you to take them.
I'm here at Spring Canyon Dog Park, where young and old dogs alike can come and release all their playful energy. Let's go check it out.
Spring Canyon Dog Park is located at the west end of Horsetooth Road. The beautiful site is the perfect place for dogs to enjoy themselves and get their much-needed exercise.
It's important for them to get their energy out, you know.
The park was created in partnership with the Larimer County Humane Society and has developed substantially throughout the years.
That little shelter thing right there wasn't there, and I don't think any of these little cylinders were there, and it's just in general like way more groomed, and the water cart wasn't there.
Socialization is great for the animals, but it is important to make sure they receive the proper training at home to avoid possible aggression with other dogs.
Breed and some monitors and stuff and like proper training. It's just like good, especially with male dogs, to assert your dominance as owner.
Regulations and other information relevant to owners are posted throughout the area. With owners keeping aware of park rules, their playful companions are free to run, fetch, and swim as long as their hearts desire. Until it's time to go home, of course. If you're a lover of all things dogs, be on the lookout for the Doggy Olympics and Tour de Corgi, two events taking place in Fort Collins later this month. It's the movie that's breaking box records and leaving people like myself running from the theater in tears. Let me give you a hint as to what it is. It's terrifying, it's pretty gory, and it features a face-painted man who by no means lacks any supply of floating red balloons. I'm sure you've guessed it by now, the movie I'm referring to is in fact It. The horror flick centers on a serial killer clown who terrorizes a group of young friends. The movie is literally what nightmares are made of and will have you on the edge of your seat throughout the entirety of its screen time. The film, which scored an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, has critics saying it's well acted and fiendishly frightening, with an emotionally affecting story at its core. The terror of the movie is interspersed with quite a bit of nostalgic humor, which helps alleviate some fear. However, I would still highly recommend leaving any kiddos at home if you plan on making a date with this killer clown. In a quote-unquote historic moment, a contestant from North Dakota takes the crown in this year's Miss America pageant. 23-year-old Cara Munn has the honor of holding the title throughout 2018 and also took home a $50,000 scholarship as part of her prize. The pageant consists of a question portion for the contestants, for which Munn was duly noted for her response to Trump's decision to withdraw the United States from the Climate Accord. When asked about the matter, Munn said, quote, "I do believe it's a bad decision. There is evidence that climate change is existing, so whether you believe it or not, we need to be at that table." The competition as a whole not only addressed several political issues, but viewers were also encouraged to donate to the Red Cross's relief efforts for Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. Well, the long summer-filled drama Bachelor in Paradise came to an end last night. Highlights of the night included contestants Taylor Nolan and Derek Perth getting engaged, as well as Demario Jackson and Corinna Olympios meeting for the first time on air since their highly publicized scandal. The franchise will return in January 2018 with a surprise bachelor. Ari Lewandijk Jr. was the runner-up on Season 8 of The Bachelorette, and now will have a chance at finding his true love. But can we take a second to address, where did this guy even come from? The Bachelor will be going into its 22nd season, and it chooses to feature someone from Season 8. At this point, it looks like even the franchise itself is having a hard time finding a man. Well, that's all the entertainment news I have for you, Rams. Thanks for watching and have a great night.
The Colorado State football team had their third game of the season Saturday against Abilene Christian, who is in the Southland Conference. The Rams beat the Wildcats 38-10. QB Nick Stevens was able to complete 25 of 40 passes for 337 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had 1 interception on the day. Izzy Matthews, Dalen Dawkins, Michael Gallup, and Dietrich Clark all had touchdowns. Matthews even had his first receiving touchdown of his career. Now on the defensive side, Josh Watson has been making headlines as he has been the leading tackler in all 3 games. They recorded 7 tackles and 1.5 tackles for loss and 1 pass breakup. Looking ahead, the Rams head to Tuscaloosa this Saturday to face the #1 team in the SEC, Alabama. This is going to be a tough one considering Alabama already has 2 wins under their belt against Florida State and Fresno State. The last time CSU beat a team in the SEC was back in 1997. For coverage on this game, follow the CTV Twitter account. The volleyball team won the Colorado State Volleyball Tournament this weekend. Sonia Cheesemick was named the MVP of the tournament. The biggest win came from the sweep against number 16 Michigan on Friday. Cheesemick led the team with 13 kills and a hitting percentage of .500. Brianna Reynolds and Paulina Hogard Jensen also added 12 kills and 11 kills. After this weekend, Sonia Cheesemick was named Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week, and Paulina Hogard Jensen was named Defensive Player of the Week as well. Cheesemick had a total of 35 kills and a .415 attack percentage this weekend. The team also moved up 3 spots from number 25 to 22 on the ABCA coaches poll. The team will host the second CSU tournament starting this weekend before they enter into conference play. The Rams will play this Friday at 7 p.m. in Moby. The soccer team also had a pretty good weekend. Allie Murphy-Paletta was voted NCAA Women's Soccer Player of the Week. She earned this title after her first ever hat trick in program history last week. On Friday, the team played SIU Edwardsville and battled to a scoreless draw. CSU's goalkeeper, Hunter Pfeiffer, had 11 saves, which is a program record. CSU had 8 shots on goal and SIU had 11. But the team bounced right back on Sunday and beat North Dakota State 5-1. All 5 goals were scored in the second half. 2 of the goals came from freshman forward Carly E. Hart. E. Hart scored on a turnover in the 56th minute. Lexi Swenson, Kaylee Lordman, and Callie Clements contributed the other 3 goals. The team will travel to Kansas State this Sunday. For more updates throughout the week, follow the CTV 11 YouTube page. And don't go away because Kiara Coles is up next.
Hello and welcome to CTV. I'm Marlo Lundak.
And I'm Amelia Castaneda, and here are today's top stories.
The impeachment of ASCSU President Josh Silva is back in the news as a second impeachment petition with new charges has been submitted. The charges include the previous charge Silva had been negotiating with the Wall Street Journal without informing the Senate. However, now there are also accusations that the president did not create a job for himself, as well as allegedly breaking Amendment 3 of the ASCSU Bill of Rights that states ASCSU members will not discriminate, but no details have been released regarding the specifics of these new charges. The petition has surpassed the 20% of the Senate signatures required to proceed, so there should be more developments on the process coming in the following weeks. We'd like to thank Sunday Miller and the Collegian for the footage.
A Colorado State University alumni discussed his award-winning book on Tuesday night at the Laurie Student Center Theater.
Jim Davidson brought book lovers to CSU's campus from all over Colorado. Oh, we drove all the way up from Fairplay to see him. We were friends on Facebook for this last climb up Mount Everest, so it was just so amazing to watch him climb every day, and wow. And then when we had a chance to come up here, well, I'm not going to miss this.
Davidson's book is a national bestseller, that won the 2012 National Outdoor Book Award.
Very good book to read, and really understanding what Jim went through, especially after the accident, and how he rebuilt his life. And listening to him speak tonight just kind of reaffirms that.
Davidson explained the occurrences that took place on his climbing trip and explained his moments of fear, including the loss of his partner, Mike Price.
80 feet down, where no one can hear your cries.
I knew picking it up that I was getting into something intense, but when you read it, it's really difficult to get through and kind of imagine something like that.
The event was presented as part of the Morgan Library's Evening with an Author series. These events are free and open to the public. Visit the CSU Morgan Library for more information.
This past Tuesday, Poudre Fire Authority rescued a man who fell 40 feet while climbing Duncan Ridge. According to a post on the Poudre Fire Authority's Facebook page, the crew responded to the report at 4:55, hiked in, and found the man at 5:15. The man was brought to safety and transported to the local hospital with significant injuries.
Cans Around the Oval kicks off today, which means you can now start registering for the collection effort that has provided 2.3 million meals over the past 31 years. If you can, go to cans.colostate.edu. You can register as an individual or in competitions and start donating today. You can also start looking forward to construction on October 11th, where students can build cool can designs out of cans at the Laurie Student Center Plaza. Then, on October 18th, students will bring all the cans down to the Oval, where they will be weighed and totaled. This year's organizers are putting the goal at $50,000 and 50,000 pounds of food. So start getting involved today. Help them meet that total.
Everyone knows that pets are a man's best friend, but not everyone knows how to deal with the loss of one. The Colorado State University Vet Hospital is here to help.
And when great souls die, after a period, peace blooms.
Around 100 people gathered at the Colorado State University Veterinary Hospital to join the annual Pet Memorial Service, honoring pets that had been treated and recently passed away at the hospital in the past year. The memorial was started by the Argus Institute at the CSU Vet Teaching Hospital. Argus offers free grief counseling and support for end-of-life decisions relating to pets.
Started it 8 years ago, recognizing that one, people needed an opportunity to memorialize the animals that they have lost. It's also National Pet Memorial Day, and so it really coincided, a perfect opportunity to allow people that experience.
The most beloved part of the memorial service is the slideshow put together by Alan and her colleagues. Pet owners were given the chance to send pictures of their furry friends to share their favorite memories with others.
These are people who, their animals are an important part of their life, and they are in the same boat I am. They love their animals dearly, they miss them dearly, and not everyone understands that. And it's really nice to have a safe place to come and know that they understand.
If you or your family are dealing with the loss of an animal, for more information, you can visit www.argusinstitute.colostate.edu.
Autumn is approaching with the return of corn mazes and haunted houses, but this corn maze is giving back to the local community and those in need in the South.
Fritzler Corn Maze is a northern Colorado fall favorite. For the past 18 years, the family farm has sculpted incredible designs into their 12-acre cornfield. Last year, they dedicated it to the Denver Broncos Super Bowl win, but this year, they've partnered with Culver's food chain to thank local farmers. Through the Thank You Farmers initiative, Culver's and its guests have been able to raise over $1 million in support of agricultural education programs like Future Farmers of America. But Fritzler's isn't just a corn maze. They have a tunnel slide, escape rooms, and of course, a beer garden. But this year, they've added human foosball. Despite all of this, Glenn's favorite part is the children's barrel train ride in the haunted house.
Where the big old brawny guy will take his girlfriend out and just use her as a shield, or drop to his knees and, and say, stop, stop. And then people just say, I just wet my pants.
The Fall Festival isn't just fun and games, though. Thanks to the corn maze, the Fritzlers were able to keep the farm that has been in the family for 60 years.
You know, when we started this maze, it was our last chance.
The farm, it's not like an occupation. I mean, it's almost like it's your child. I mean, that's how much you really care about this farm.
The corn maze helped the Fritzler family keep their farm, and now they want to give back to those who have been affected by the devastation of Hurricanes Harvey and Irma.
Yeah, I mean, those hurricanes are absolutely, Irma and Harvey.
Really fun. Visit redcross.org. That's all we have for news.
Stay tuned for weather, sports, and entertainment all after this.
What is up, Rams? My name is Ryan Chris, and it is another fantastic Thursday, so let's get into some great entertainment news. While it's not the first official day of fall, which is September 22nd, the pumpkin spice latte returned to Starbucks last week. The pumpkin spice latte is apparently also known as the PSL. I don't know about you, but that is news to me, and I'm not willing to admit how long I stared at my computer saying, great, the PSL is back, but tell me when the pumpkin spice latte comes back. Mistakes were made, but that's okay, I'm blonde, it happens a lot. Anyways, the PSL from Starbucks tends to dominate this season when there are plenty of great other options here in Fort Collins. The first one on our list is at the Harbinger Coffee on Harmony. They have their own fall drink known as the Smoky Bear. This latte will return on October 1st and is made with local honey, black walnuts, and a touch of smoke. This next one has pumpkin flavors available year-round and is known as the Crooked Cup, located on West Oak Street. They have pumpkin chai, known as the Crooked Cozy, and a pumpkin spice latte known as the Crooked Jack-o'-lantern. Lastly, the Human Bean, that has 2 locations in Fort Collins, serves multiple pumpkin-themed drinks like pumpkin lattes, pumpkin amaretto lattes, pumpkin mochas, and pumpkin bok tea chai. So, if you ever get tired of Starbucks pumpkin spice latte, there are plenty more options for you out there. With Christmas being 102 days away, you know what that means. It's time to start thinking about Christmas. Or at least that's what Hallmark thinks with their new Countdown to Christmas special on their sister channel. While Hallmark does this every year, they're mixing it up this year by starting it on October 27th. At first I thought they were joking. I mean, watching Christmas movies before Halloween, that's crazy. But nope. The Hallmark sister channel will air 21 Christmas movies before joining up with the main channels to air the 12 regular Countdown to Christmases. That's a total of 33 different Christmas movies. So get ready to get your Christmas cheer on because it's coming before Halloween this year. This past weekend I saw some great stand-up comedians, so let's check them out.
This past weekend at Max Line Brewing, people could hang out, drink some beer, and laugh at 970's Productions comedy show. And they had some great performances.
Whole Foods every once in a while, make up my own signs, put them around, see if they notice. Stuff like free-range cucumbers, 2 for $5. Grass-fed watermelon, $6.50.
I want to name my son something unique and cultured, so I named him after an African nation. His name is Chad.
I am glad to be here tonight, Max Line, because when I get to do comedy here, it means I don't have to do comedy in places like Greeley. That's right. I was on the way into a club in Greeley and the security guy stepped in front of me and said, "Excuse me, sir, do you have any knives on you?" And I said, "No." Because it was Greeley, they gave me one. That was...
I spoke to Jacob Erdman, the producer, who told me more about how he got these performers together.
Working with them through a professional working experience, and also essentially just knowing them as people. So, you know, you work with people long enough in a professional environment, you know who's funny and at what level they're funny. And so then you start putting them on your shows because eventually they will be a draw. And so it makes your show look way better if you have these headliners that are just crushing.
I'm Ryan Christ, CTV News.
They will be back at the Max Line on October 8th, and I know I don't want to miss out. Nintendo is serving up a lot of nostalgia in a small form with the announcement that they will be shipping the NES Classic again in 2018 due to its high demand in 2016. This is a miniature console and it's loaded with 30 games like Mario Bros. And Donkey Kong. This announcement came out just 2 weeks before they announced their second miniature console known as the SNES. This new gaming console is preloaded with 21 games like Super Mario World, The Legend of Zelda, and a never-before-released title called Star Fox 2.
Pre-orders for this console are already sold out on Amazon and Target and GameStop. The company reassured fans when they said that fans have showed their unbridled enthusiasm for these classic edition systems, so Nintendo is working to put many more of them on the store shelves. While you can't play these games in full screen and you have to turn off the console to switch games, I know I'll definitely be getting one. In some more nerd news, with the new director Colin Trevorrow stepping down from Star Wars Episode 9 last week, fans were waiting for the announcement of the new director. And on Tuesday, it was announced that J.J. Abrams will be Star Wars Episode 9's new chosen one. As we all know, J.J. Abrams was the director of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and he is the only other director that will direct more than one Star Wars movie besides George Lucas. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy stated that with The Force Awakens, J.J. delivered everything we could have possibly hoped for, and I'm so excited that he is coming back to close out the trilogy. While we still have a while before Episode 8, and even longer until Episode 9, I can't wait to see what J.J. will bring to the conclusion of this Star Wars trilogy.
Welcome back from the break. I'm Alex Clow. Let's get to it and talk sports. The Colorado State football team had their third game of the season Saturday against Abilene Christian, who is in the Southland Conference. The Rams beat the Wildcats 38-10. QB Nick Stevens was able to complete 25 of 40 passes for 337 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had 1 interception on the day. Izzy Matthews, Dalen Dawkins, Michael Gallup, and Dietrich Clark all had touchdowns. Matthews even had his first receiving touchdown of his career. Now on the defensive side, Josh Watson has been making headlines as he has been the leading tackler in all 3 games. They recorded 7 tackles and 1.5 tackles for loss and 1 pass breakup. Looking ahead, the Rams head to Tuscaloosa this Saturday to face the #1 team in the SEC, Alabama. This is going to be a tough one considering Alabama already has 2 wins under their belt against Florida State and Fresno State. The last time CSU beat a team in the SEC was back in 1997. For coverage on this game, follow the CTV's Twitter account. The volleyball team won the Colorado State volleyball tournament this weekend. Sonia Cheesemick was named the MVP of the tournament. The biggest win came from the sweep against number 16 Michigan on Friday. Cheesemick led the team with 13 kills and a hitting percentage of .500. Brianna Reynolds and Paulina Hogard Jensen also added 12 kills and 11 kills. After this weekend, Sonia Cheesemick was named Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week, and Paulina Hogard Jensen was named Defensive Player of the Week as well. Cheesemick had a total of 35 kills and a .415 attack percentage this weekend. The team also moved up 3 spots from number 25 to 22 on the ABCA coaches poll. The team will host the second CSU tournament starting this weekend before they enter into conference play. The Rams will play this Friday at 7 p.m. in Moby. The soccer team also had a pretty good weekend. Allie Murphy-Paletta was voted NCAA Women's Soccer Player of the Week. She earned this title after her first ever hat trick in program history last week. On Friday, the team played SIU Edwardsville and battled to a scoreless draw. CSU's goalkeeper, Hunter Pfeiffer, had 11 saves, which is a program record. CSU had 8 shots on goal and SIU had 11. But the team bounced right back on Sunday and beat North Dakota State 5-1. All 5 goals were scored in the second half. 2 of the goals came from freshman forward Carly Ehart. Ehart scored on a turnover in the 56th minute. Lexi Swenson, Kaylee Lordman, and Callie Clements contributed the other 3 goals. The team will travel to Kansas State this Sunday. For more updates throughout the week, follow the CTV 11 YouTube page. And don't go away because Kiara Coles is up next.